Hey guys, welcome to my spoiler quickie review of Spider-Man No Way Home by the Eric Barber. So, first things first, let's get into the film. I gotta say, the film actually exceeded my expectations, both my initial expectations and also after watching the trailers. I thought the premise was stronger than what I initially thought it was going to be. Peter's motivation by having his identity leaked, I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal, and they'd sort of shoehorn it in. But, seeing Peter go through all that agonization from having his identity leak, and also Mysterio framing him as a villain, I think actually sold pretty well, and the Peter outrage at the beginning of the film was actually really believable. They did a good job of painting him as a villain. And speaking of villains, the villains are absolutely phenomenal. I'd say some of the villains do even better in this role than they did in their original films. And, I think what helps the villains do so well here is that they're already really well developed from being in those other Spider-Man films, so they don't have to spend as much time developing them. It's more so expanding their characters in this movie. I think MJ, Ned, and Peter all play their part really well, and I think this is their best performance in the MCU so far. Speaking of Peter, we got 2 additional Spider-Men into this film, and they play their part to a T. It's so awesome seeing them interact with each other. Feels like they were ripped straight out of their universe, just as it was stated in the film. Their action's great and high-paced. Of course, there's not as much as we'd like to see from them, but I completely understand why they made this decision. Comedy wasn't all hits for me, but overall it was pretty good, and the best part is it was kept to a minimum. This film is focused on high levels of drama, high stakes, and plenty of ramifications that will be felt across the MCU, and I feel like you will be feeling this for years to come. 2 things that I felt like were maybe a bit jarring for me. Ned Leeds gaining sorcerer powers literally out of nowhere. Even if this were hinted in Homecoming or Far From Home or any other MCU property, I definitely would not have an issue, but it really just felt kind of weird to me. Additionally, the Venom post-credit scene. I know Venom 2 had a post-credit scene where he came into that universe, but Venom doesn't even know who Spider-Man is, so it doesn't really make sense that he just got transported over. I thought that was a little weak, and maybe it'll be addressed, but for now, it's a minor gripe, but that's what it is. Overall, I gotta say, the strong points definitely majorly outweigh the bad, and it's just such a great thing that this film was even made. I give this film an 8.5 out of 10.